everybody, welcome back to another episode of CarnivorousGrama Cooks. Today I'm going to be making chili. So I'm making some carnivore and keto chili. Let me show you guys what I'm going to be putting into this. So first of all, we've got some ground beef. This is just from a huge log of ground beef that I got from Gordon's Foods. And it's about 4 pounds of ground beef. So I'm not going to use all of this for the chili, but I'm going to go ahead and cook it all up. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to season this with some Redmond's real salt. So today I'm back to using Redmond's real seasoned salt. This is organic seasoning salt, and I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to season all of this with the Redmond's, and then I'm going to cook this off before I add any additional seasonings to it. Because for the part that I'm pulling out, I don't want to have any other seasonings on it. All right, let me grab my spatulator. I don't know if any of you guys remember Keto Ginger from back in the day, about maybe 5 or 6 years ago. She had a channel and she did a lot of cooking, and she called this little doodad a spatulator, and I will never forget that. Every time I use this thing, I think about Keto Ginger. I'll make sure I drop a link to her channel in the show notes. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cook this up, and then we'll come back and do the next step. All right, so since I'm making both a keto version and a carnivore version of this chili, I wanted to show you guys what I'm seasoning with. So I'm going to be using some chili powder. I've got some regular, just a little bit of regular, and then I've got some dark chili powder. This is going in both versions. I've got some cumin, and that also is going in both versions. Then I've got my garlic powder and onion flakes, and these are going to go in the keto version. For the keto version, I've also got a little bit of tomato paste. So this is like serving size of 2 tablespoons. I'm probably going to just put 1 tablespoon in there. And then I've also got a can of Rotel. So I'll be adding that to the keto version. So, and then once I get the hamburger cooked up, I'm going to add some butter. I'll be topping mine with sour cream, and my husband may add a little bit of cheese to his, but I can't have cheese, so I won't have any cheese on mine. All right, I'm going to give this Rotel, put the Rotel in the pot for the keto version of the chili. And I'm going to add the onion flakes to that so they can have time to rehydrate. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon of onion flakes to that, and then I'm going to let that sit and rehydrate those onions. Okay, I'm going to take about, I don't know, half a pound of this out. We'll save this for later. So that we'll have a little ground beef when we need it. And I'm also going to add half of this ground beef that's left to this pot. So let's start with the carnivore version of the chili. This is going to be very, very simple, because I am not doing a ton with spices right now. I'm going to add maybe a couple tablespoons of this. We'll go 2 tablespoons of chili powder. Also, we're going to add some chili powder to this one as well, a couple tablespoons. Got some cumin, so I'm going to add about a tablespoon of cumin to this, maybe a little less than a tablespoon. About a tablespoon of cumin. Then we've got some garlic powder, And we'll add some of that. We're gonna add a teaspoon of garlic to this one. Now, we're also gonna add a little bit of sweetener to this. The sweetener will help brighten up the flavor of this. Let me just show you how this is looking. Oh, it smells really good. I'm in my intermittent fasting window, so I'm not gonna be able to taste it until later, but I will come back and let you guys know how it tastes. I'm gonna add just a little bit of water to this. And I'm gonna let that cook off. So I don't want it to be thin. I want it to be kind of thick. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let this cook for a while. I am gonna add a tiny bit of sweetener. So this is allulose sweetener. So I'm gonna add a hair of this. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of allulose to this. So that's gonna brighten up the flavor. It's not gonna make it sweet. It will just brighten those flavors up, all right? So this is the carnivore version. And I'm gonna let that cook down, let that liquid cook off. All right, this is the keto version. As you remember, I put in a can of Rotel into here. All right. So I put a can of Rotel in there, and now I'm gonna add a little bit of tomato paste to it. About a tablespoon is what I'm going for. Okay, and then the rest of this is gonna go in the fridge. Now, it's gonna take me forever to use this. I might end up giving it to somebody to make sure that it doesn't go bad, because I just don't use it that much. I'm also gonna add a little bit of water to this one. We will stir that in. Oh, and I'm gonna add some allulose sweetener to it, about a teaspoon. So the difference between the one that I'm making for my husband and the one that I'm making for myself is I want mine to be very thick. His will be a little bit thinner. And of course it has the tomatoes in it. So we're gonna cook this for a little bit. We might add a little more water to his once it cooks down a titch. And we'll cook most of the water off of this one. And then when it's time to eat this evening, about 6:30, I will come back. This is gonna have a nice amount of time for the flavors to meld together. So, we'll come back later and I'll let you guys know how it tastes. So one more thing I almost forgot is I wanted to add some butter to this. So I'm adding about a tablespoon in each one of these batches of chili. It's almost time for me to break my fast, finally. And so I want to show you what I'm gonna have. So I got a few hot dogs here. And these are Thousand Hills, 100% grass-fed, regenerative agriculture, uncured, hickory smoked beef franks. I'll just share with you the ingredients that are in these hot dogs. 100% regeneratively raised grass-fed beef, water, sea salt. Contains 2% or less of the following: organic cane sugar, ground mustard seed, white pepper, coriander, mace, paprika, and celery juice powder. So it doesn't have black pepper. That's really good. So I'm gonna have this with some of my chili, and once I get it done, I will show you guys what that's looking like. All right, so here's my meal. This is 2 chili dogs with mustard, and sour cream. Let's give it a taste.
Are they good?
Mm-hmm. Mm.